Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sisters. She's the one who gave us this translation. The translation reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My story is about a young woman who lost herself, and as I was chasing a life that I thought that I wanted. It all began when I was very young, hopeful, a university student in Johannesburg, eager to make something out of myself. I came from a very humble background, raised by a single mother who worked really hard to put me through school. She had big dreams for her daughter, big dreams for me, and I wanted nothing more than to make her to be proud. But somewhere along the way, I totally got lost. When I first arrived at university, I was like any other girl. I was full of excitement and I was eager to learn and ready to embrace my new life. But it did not take long for me to realize that being a student in Joburg was not just about studying, it was about image, status, and the kind of lifestyle that you could flaunt on social media. Everywhere I looked, there was pressure. I saw other girls living the high life, designer clothes, expensive cars, and glamorous parties. I wanted that life too. I wanted to be seen, to be admired, and to be envied. At first, I tried to fit in with what little I had. I saved up each and every penny I could from my part time job to buy the latest fashion, and I spent hours and hours perfecting my look, making sure that I always looked flawless. But it was not enough. The kind of lifestyle that I wanted required money, serious money, and as a broke university student, I simply did not have that. That was when I met some girls who wanted to have it all. They were very beautiful, confident, and always had the latest gadgets and outfits. They never seemed to worry about money. They were always at the hottest events, rubbing shoulders with celebrities and rich businessmen. It did not take that long before I learned their secret. These girls, they were so-called slay queens. They had rich men, or what we call blessers, who took care of everything in exchange for companionship. These men, even though they were married, showered them with gifts, money, and the kind of lifestyle that I had only ever dreamt of. At first, I was shocked, even a little disgusted, thinking that just dating a man simply because you want his money, even though you know that this man is about 10 or more girlfriends, but still you keep on dating that man. I had been raised to value hard work and integrity, and the idea of selling myself for material things went against everything that I had believed in. But the more that I saw them living the life that I wanted, the more my morals started to blur. Because as for my friends, when we will go out, when it will be time for us to take some pictures that they wanted to post on their social media handles, then they would avoid taking pictures with me, and I knew that it was because I was never wearing the same expensive clothes that they will be wearing. I then convinced myself that I was not like them, that I could just dip my toes into that world without losing myself. So I started going to the same parties, meeting the same men, and before I knew it, I had my own blesser. He was older, married, and extremely wealthy. At first, it was thrilling. He took me to places I had only seen in magazines, bought me expensive gifts, and made me feel special, like I was the only woman in the world. This guy, he was from Zim. My social media blew up, and I became like one of those girls, the one everyone just wanted to date. But it did not take long for that glamour to wear off. This guy, he just disappeared from the map. And later on, I heard that the guy, he just had a car crash in his country and he passed away. Like this guy, the way that he was making money, he once took me to this other house here in Joburg. And when we entered into his bedroom, I saw that there was this other funny looking wardrobe, an old wardrobe that was in his mansion. So it did not fit because of everything that was in that house. The furniture was just too expensive. But that wardrobe, it just looked like maybe It had been bought from the Indian shops. So when he opened that wardrobe, then I saw that he had stacked a lot of money in that wardrobe. Then all of a sudden, when I thought that my life was now getting interesting, that was when I heard that the guy, when he was in Zim, he then had a car crash and he passed away. So after that, I was really desperate. And then I just thought that it was far much better for me to date any guy that would come to me. So the more that I got involved into that life, the more that I lost myself. I started missing classes, too caught up in the fast life to care about my education. The gifts and money came at a cost. A guy will send you some money and they will say, you must come to my house for a sleepover. There were some guys that will say that they want to sleep with me, but using anal penetration. And it made me to feel like I was no longer a human being. And I lost my self-worth, my dignity, and eventually my soul. I was no longer Lerato, not a real name, the bright university student with dreams of making a difference. I had become sort of like a commodity, something to be bought and to be sold, just another slave queen in a city that is filled with them. As time went on, that was when the emptiness grew and I started becoming so suicidal. I realized that no amount of money or material things could fill the void that is inside of me. My relationships with my family and friends, it was like non-existent. My mother, who had worked so hard to give me a better life, could sense that something was wrong. I was too ashamed. The men that I had once felt so powerful, they were disgusting me, especially when this other rich blesser told me that he wanted to give me money. At that time, because of the place where I was staying, like the rentals, they were really expensive. So he said, you must come to get your rent money. So I went there, Brother Nashi. When I went there, I can say that this was the final straw, because this blesser, he became so violent with me. First of all, he wanted me to sleep with his dog. And when he saw that I was not comfortable with sleeping his dog, we then started like an argument. He became possessive, controlling, and abusive, even though he promised me that he was going to give me money the following morning. But we fought really hard throughout the night until he forced himself on me. And after he had forced himself on me, he then took one of his dogs and the dog came and mounted me. It was like hitting rock bottom, just watching a dog on top of me when it was sleeping with me. Then I went back to my old life and I sold most of the stuff that I had in my apartment. But it took a very long time, and I am sharing my story because I want other girls to know that the slay queen lifestyle is not what it seems. It is a trap, one that will take everything from you and leave you with nothing. All of those girls that pretended to be my friends, the moment that I stopped going to parties with them, the moment that they stopped communicating with me, as for now, I am grateful that I found my way back to the Lord and I am now going to church again. Your dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister, our admin, who gave us this translation. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world.